Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of The Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. We're about less than 2 weeks away until Christmas, and I'm like about maybe halfway done with my Christmas shopping at this point. I haven't done a whole lot in terms of the amount of things that I bought for the people that are, that I'm buying gifts for, but I have gotten them at least one thing. And at this point, I'm feeling pretty good about myself. I'm actually like the things that I got them are some good stuff. That when they open the gifts come Christmas morning, I'm going to feel like I got them good stuff that they're going to like, which already brings some warmth into my heart. I can tell you that this much right now. And I think that, buying the gifts this early is, I because I see them pretty much every day. I got a pile of Amazon bags, other store bags that you can't really tell where they're from, but I know where they're from. Kind of piled up in my room, ready to be wrapped up. And I'm looking at it well, I can worry about this another day. But for the moment, thank God, I'm sort of, ahead of the game at this point. I could only imagine being, not having gotten any gift yet for my family at this point in the month, because less than 2 weeks from now is Christmas and we're running out of time. I got a couple things I gotta buy still, but at least it's not the entire, I haven't started at all. I'm actually ahead of the game, which is a good feeling. You don't want that feeling good, getting too late into December and you haven't even started your shopping yet. That's always the worst, I think. But it's a good problem to have, It means you have to actually, put some effort in, and it's like crunch time almost. You really got to make sure that you're getting the people in your family what they want, or at least something that you think that they might want, As far as that, I'm okay. But Secret Santas, I'm kind of not quite there yet. Not with my friends. I already have my gift from my friend group. But I got 2 Secret Santas that I'm in at work. And I haven't even started looking for what these people want, if I'm being completely honest. I have an idea of what I'm going to get, but I just need to get it, And with that, I'm actually running out of time with. It's always worse with the Secret Santa at the workplace, when you see the person almost every day, or at least a couple of times a week, and you're thinking to yourself well, we do talk, right? We chit chat and all that, when we're not too busy with work. But you don't really you're not going to ask them straight up hey, what do you like? Or what are you into? Because then that already gives away what the Secret Santa is. So you don't really want to, you can't really do that. You have to kind of go to the moderator, the organizer of the Secret Santa, and see hey, what does this person want? Or what are they interested in? So without doing that, because I don't really want to do that, because to me, when I do that, I know it's help. And I know that they're there for the help, to help me out with an idea. But I kind of feel when I do that, I'm not really putting in as much effort as I think others are who don't, go to the moderator to get ideas for a Secret Santa gift. I want to be able to do this on my own. I really do. With no help whatsoever. The less help, the better. because I feel like I'm like an independent person. I really don't like getting help. I don't like asking for help with things. I know it's like not really a good quality, right? You kind of like cannot do that in most environments, because a lot of environments where you might need help is like a collaborative group environment, right? You're by yourself in something, you're probably the only person that knows how to do that one thing, and you're the best. You're the best of the best in this situation. But if you're like in a group collaborative environment, asking for help is part of the nature of that environment. But then again, there's people like me who I wouldn't call stupid, but I guess like a little too prideful of themselves and do not want to ask for any help. That is totally me. I just don't want to ask for any help whatsoever. Really, I don't. When I know I should, because it would benefit everybody. And I've always been like that with everything. Homework, projects, work, you name it. I've always been in that situation, been that type of person that doesn't enjoy asking for help, because I feel like I should know all the stuff that that I have to do, and asking for help is kind of like a sign of weakness, when really it isn't. I mean, I've been in situations where it's either like in school or work, or like when you ask questions, it's showing that you care more about what you are doing or what you're trying to do, which is always a good thing, right? You want to appear that you want to know, and that you're trying to learn the thing that you're not so good at, right? It looks good to whoever is, you know, above you, right? Instructor, boss, whatever, right? But to you directly, you feel, or at least when I ask for help, I kind of feel like a little weak. Like I feel like I'm weak. Like I should know this, and I got to be a man and do it myself. That's always kind of been like my biggest like hurdle in my life, is the fear of asking for help, when I know I should not have that fear at all. That shouldn't even come across in my brain that that would even be a thing, you know? I mean, it really shouldn't, but I think it happens to a lot more people than we think. Like, I really do think that a lot of us have that, and it kind of sucks, if I'm being honest. It really does suck. I wish it wasn't. I wish I wasn't like that. I wish it wasn't like. I wish I wasn't that way, but I am. Maybe it's a guy thing. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not a lady, but I feel like a lot of guys kind of get that. Like, asking for help is a sign of weakness. Like, I'm not a lady, but I would think that maybe it's equal to men as it is to women. You don't want to appear weak in situations like that. You want to be in control. Because also, I feel like when I ask questions about that type of stuff, I feel like I'm out of control. Or I have like very little control, and I don't know what I'm doing, you know? Especially when people are depending on me to know things. I feel like if I ask questions, I'm like, maybe they'll think that I don't know what I'm doing, which is maybe, they don't see me as strong as I want them to see me as, or something like that, or that I don't have as much knowledge of what I'm talking about, or I don't even know what I'm doing. That's kind of fearful. That kind of sets fear into my heart. Like, I don't want that. I don't want people to think that I'm like, not in control. That is another thing. I think that might be like a man quality. It might be because, men are generals and kings, emperors, and, people of power, right? They're not like a lot of like, you know, leaders that you think of, right? The good leaders, right, are ones that seem strong, like a strong like appearance, right? A strong presence. Like, I guess you could say, like, in modern day terms, they have aura, right? Like command, presence, you know. Uh they carry themselves in a way where like they are in control. And you can tell that they are in control by the people who view them, right? You want to feel like you are in control. And if you're following somebody who appears and you can tell that they are in control, you feel better as a follower of that leader. Like George Washington, right? That dude was a straight up bona fide leader, a general in the colonial army, you know, sailing across the Delaware River, right? That infamous picture that you see George Washington just like, so stoic and heroic, leading his boys across the river, right? I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on this, but I'm not too sure. But I think that picture is them either running away from the British or sneak attacking the British. I'm not too sure which one it is. But either way, the picture, the painting, is badass. I think I said this on a previous podcast. Like, I would love to have that like framed, like in my house, like just there, or like in my office, or by my desk. Just like there, like. And every time I feel like down a little bit, or I don't got what it takes, I look at that and I'm like, George and the boys, they were sailing across the Delaware River, freezing temperatures in the 1700s, fighting the British for freedom. And and George Washington led those boys to freedom. I need that painting. I need it. No, obviously not like the original, but like a replica would be badass. Just kind of look at that every day. A bona fide leader. I mean, all I can say is like another one would be, damn. I'll be honest. Like this is gonna get fictional, right? This is fiction, but Rob Stark in Game of Thrones was a dope ass leader. He was a dope leader. That dude was worth going to battle for. Like that dude was that dude was him. I'll be honest, like he was him. I know a lot of people like Jon Snow and they like Khaleesi, or they like other people from Game of Thrones, like the Jon Snow is like the big guy, right? But Robb Stark and Ned Stark, those are the boys. Like those are the boys like I would go to war for. Jon Snow had to he worked his way up to that where it took him some time, but I would go to war for him. But in the short period of time that those boys, Robb and Ned Stark, were on screen, man, they were so commanding leaders. Like, day one, I'm at Ned Stark's fucking right hand, without a doubt. Like, I'm going to, squat up with that dude, give me a sword, give me a shield, and I'm going to go to battle for Ned Stark and for Robb Stark. Like, damn. Spoiler alert. When those boys died in that show, holy shit, I was sad. I was so sad. I could not think that I could continue to watch the show, but the show was so good I had to keep going. In those seasons that they were alive and then perished. Man, that show was great. Up until the end of season 7. That show was great. I'll be honest, it was fantastic. But that's a leader, right? Robb Stark was Like, I was all in on Rob Stark. I'm like, they cannot kill our boy Rob Stark. Another one, a humble leader, one that is caring, is how do you say, unselfish, a protector, a watchful protector, like a he watches over like the little guy, kind of like an outlaw, outcast type of guy, like a free roamer, Aragorn from Lord of the Rings. At least in the films. Never read the books, but in the films, Aragorn is like, spoiler alert again, destined to be king. Kind of doesn't want to be king, but then ultimately he's like, you know what, I gotta do this, and then just says, locks in, and just does it, and becomes like the best king of all time. You know, that's like a leader. And I think that when you ask for like questions, it just kind of it takes away from that. But I guess like that's kind of like growth and development, right? Not everybody's going to be a George Washington. Not everybody's going to be a Rob Stark or an Aragorn, right? At least like from the get go, people are you're going to have to like work at it and develop yourself to become that. It's kind of like I kind of like it's like a natural talent, right? A natural gift. Like I watch soccer, not a whole lot, but I used to. But there was these two players back in the day that, well, not really even back in the day. They're still playing, but like Messi and Ronaldo, they were always compared on their greatness, on the team success, their nation success, their individual success, their individual skills, how many goals that they score, so on and so on. To me, what was like natural talent, what just appeared to me that this guy is born with this gift that nobody else has. Messi with the soccer ball, like, I mean, like it was like dribbling a ball. Like, you would see so many highlights of this dude like dribbling past so many guys with the utmost control and just make them all look like fools and score the most simple goals and the most easy assists. And this dude was just like, it's like you couldn't even get him off the ball. It was wild. And his talent, to me, did not look like it was like drilled into his brain by repetitive, repetitions and all that. It looked like it was just natural. Whereas with like Cristiano Ronaldo, like he's really good as well, but it looks more, trained, and like, he had to work at it, and which he did, and he's really good. He's fantastic, but it did not look natural to me. Whereas with like Messi, it just seemed totally, totally natural, where I'm just like, no one on earth can do what this dude does. Nobody. No one. And I think that even now, like, no one else has been able to do what this dude has done with like a soccer ball, and his ability to go up and down the field with that ball like at his feet, and nobody can knock him off. Nobody steals from him. He's so good at scoring goals and assisting and just knowing where to be. It's like, dude, this guy is just a natural born gifted talent. It's like that's like the difference I can tell between those two guys, with like a natural born talent, just gifted, like God touched his feet and bestowed upon soccer greatness. Whereas Ronaldo's like an athletic freak, super athletic, but he definitely looks like he had to work at his craft in order to master it. But this guy was born out of the womb already a master in Messi. You know what I'm saying? That's just kind of what I get. Some people are kind of born with that. Others have to work at it. For me, I guess I'm just more of a working at it type of guy, which is not bad, right? It practice makes perfect, right? But even then, you don't become perfect. No one is perfect at anything. Perfection is impossible to achieve, I think. I really do think that it is. But in the process of striving for perfection, you can build excellence. And that is really what it's all about, is striving for perfection, but achieving excellence. A lot of people don't even sniff excellence. They don't even get close. They either give up or just kind of plateau with whatever they're doing. But if you're trying to be perfect, you're going to try, right? And that's what really matters, is you're giving the effort. And you will get better. You won't be perfect, but you will get better. At each time, whatever it is that you're doing, you will get better. I think that's something that, needs to be instilled into everybody. I mean, people tell me practice makes perfect. Yeah. I mean, but that's like not even like the goal there. That's the messaging, but it's like that's not the end. The end is being able to, striving for excellence and trying and putting in the effort, because a lot of people don't put in effort. Whatever it is that they're doing, they just want to be good without trying to be good. There's a big difference in just being good and trying to be good. You have to put in the effort and the work. You actually have to try. It's sad how a lot of people don't want to try things. They don't want to try new things. They don't want to put themselves in a position where, they're uncomfortable, or, they're up against odds, or they're like, they don't want to put themselves in new situations where you could possibly fail, right? And I get it. It's scary. And it's not just scary. It's terrifying to be in the unknown in whatever it is that you're doing, and to strive and persevere whatever it is you're trying to accomplish, right? But at the end of the day, hey, man, we're in this, we got shit to do. Let's go do it. Let's go to work, whatever it may be. Let's get it done. That to me is, that go-getter mentality to me is just absolutely infectious. When someone's like that, and they want to try, and they have a reason why they want to try, or why they want to get better, or why they want to do this, that just makes me be like, yeah, this dude is with us. Like, this is a guy that you want in your foxhole. This is a guy you want side by side with you when the going gets tough. A lot of people are going to crumble when the going gets tough. People are going to quit. They ain't going to try. But you have to be the one that keeps on going for the others that are with you in that. It's very important. Very, very important. So I think that's like kind of like what a natural born leader, or what a good leader, the qualities are. I think that is what we as human beings look for in most people. Is this somebody that I could follow? Is this somebody that I can see myself, squatting up with this dude, whoever it may be? Is this somebody that I could have this guy's back, and will he have my back? Does he care about me? Does he care about my success? If the answer is yes, then, man, you got a good person right there. You got a good dude. That's really what it's all about too, right? As human beings, being good to people, being good for people. Ultimately, in our day-to-day lives, we are surrounded by other people, usually in the business of achieving a goal, whether that be a job, whether that be a project, whether that be sports, whatever that may be, right? We're surrounded by people in a collaborative effort to achieve a goal, right? And in that, everybody must do their own thing. Everybody must do their job, to quote Bill Belichick, right? When one person doesn't do their job, everything suffers. You know, if one person is slacking, the entire team feels it. One person isn't doing the right thing or isn't even there, the entire team feels it. And then what do? Something that you shouldn't do, but it does happen. You start pointing fingers. You start blaming each other. You start falling apart as a team. It happens. It's happened across all of humankind. So it's a tricky situation. It's a tricky scenario that we are in our day-to-day lives as human beings thriving in this world, revolving around work, revolving around production, revolving around getting shit done to make the world go round. You know, a lot of things are at play. A lot of people are involved. A lot of lines could possibly, they shouldn't, but sometimes they do, get crossed. You know, tends to happen. You know, but what are you going to do when the shit hits the fan? Are you going to run from your problems? You're going to run and hide? You're going to pretend like you're not there? You're going to quit trying? No, you can't do that. That's not how the world works. That's not why we're here. We are here to jump over obstacles. We are here to take on challenges head on. We are here to get the job done. We are here to go to work. And, you know, as much as, you know, people can have disagreements and get in each other's faces and get up in arms, once you complete your task, man, whatever that may be, there is like not a better feeling, I think, than the feeling of accomplishment and the feeling of, wow, we did it. We achieved this. This was the goal that we set ourselves out to accomplish, and we did it. A lot of people these days don't get a lot of fulfillment or sense of accomplishment in whatever they're doing. I think that the sense of accomplishment and the sense of fulfillment and the sense of doing something and completing a task is 100% good for the human body and the human soul. It's incredible. Not only is it feel good, but it builds character, camaraderie, strength, and it makes you feel better. And you win the day. You win the day. You got to win. It's very, very similar to sports, where winning a game, winning cures all, right? It truly, truly does. You could be struggling. You could be hating your life. You could be, you know, up against the wall. But if you come out of it with a win, that all washes away. And it's such a good feeling of accomplishment that does wonders on the mind, body, and soul. You get that sense of purpose, that you matter, that what you did was a good thing, and that you have a purpose among the team or whatever you're doing or whomever you're doing it with, and you're at your post, whatever that may be. And that's important for people to feel. It's extremely important. Whenever stuff doesn't get done, when you lose day in and day out, when you feel like you're taking beatings, when you feel like you're up against the wall, when you feel like you're being teed off on, there's like no worse feeling. It's like another sports analogy is whenever like a basketball player is struggling with hitting threes or hitting jump shots, and then they make one, and then they make another one. You have to see the ball go in order for you to convince yourself like, hey, I can do this. Let's keep going. It's like it builds your confidence. Like, I do have what it takes. Let's keep on going. It's so important. It really is so important that is visualized and seen, that it can be done, that it will be done, and it will continue to be done. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. I feel like, because it is like the holiday season, things are getting like, I wouldn't say tough, but like, people at like, just around like the workplace can get a little antsy. People kind of like want to take it easy. Some don't want to take it easy. You're just like, you're kind of there, you're in it. Like, you just kind of see like, the work still got to get done, fellas. We ain't going nowhere. We got a job to do. Let's get it done. Let's go to work. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. What I've been thinking of recently, being a leader. What's a good leader, right? Who are you going to follow? Why would you follow this person, right? What does that person mean to you? Is that person there for you, or are they not there for you? If they are there for you, then that's a good feeling, and you want to keep that feeling. I don't know. I also kind of stayed upon that because the new season of Hard Knocks is out, and I've seen 2 episodes of the show. And if you don't know what it is, Hard Knocks is, like a docu-series of a weekly docu-series following the week of like an NFL team. Now, before they used to only do it in the preseason. Now they're doing it preseason, off-season, and now in season. In this year, they're following the AFC North, which is a division of football in the NFL. Teams that consist in the division are the Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati Bengals, Baltimore Ravens, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. And these teams, to me, geographically, the division makes sense. It makes sense, where they are located on the map of the country. They're very close to each other. It makes it brews rivalries. It brews conflict. It brews competition. And I gotta say, man, I'm from the West Coast, right? We got teams like that, rivalries too, right? We got the Niners, the Raiders. They don't like each other, right? And we have the Rams here now for a while. The Seahawks did not like the 49ers. But there is like nothing close. Even like in the NFC North. The rivalries in the AFC North between, like I said, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Browns, and the Bengals, those might honestly be the fiercest like rivalries in the NFL that I can think of right now. It's like the division that they chose to do the in-season Hard Knocks is the one that I wanted to see the most, even though I did not know that I wanted to see this. I'll be honest. When they announced it, I was like, oh, that's like the division I absolutely would love to watch Hard Knocks on. And thank God, 2 seasons in, I can tell you this, it's been great so far. This season of Hard Knocks has been so good. There is like not a single dull moment. And it could be because they are following 4 teams and they don't got a bunch of dead weight to carry, and it's in crunch time of the season, and it's it's with these very, very, very important games when it comes to seeding and who's going to get in and who's going to barely get in. So bravo to HBO for this idea, because this is exactly what I would want to see, in Hard Knocks coming down the stretch of the NFL season. Like, this is exactly what I would want to see. And I got to tell you, the coverage of all the teams has been great. It's been fantastic. In Cincinnati, you got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, right? I mean, Joe Burrow is like the coolest dude that you could possibly, imagine. He's so cool. Not just cool as in like that dude is cool, but he's like, cool. Like calm and cool. And like nothing really like, rattles him too much, Jamar Chase is like a stud wide receiver, but kind of has a little bit of an edge to him, He's got like a blue collar, like something about him seems like, he isn't like Justin Jefferson, like super flashy or super like, diva, but he's like a hardworking, like blue collared all-star receiver where he's willing to get the work in and get dirty and be there for the team. Like, I mean, like a couple years ago when he was, I think like the year he was drafted, he was like probably like the best receiver in the league that season. So he isn't like a mid-tier receiver. Like, he's like a really, really good receiver who happens to have like this hardworking, hard hat mentality of like, I'm here for the team, let's get it done, and not so super flashy like other wide receivers that you see. When it comes to the Cleveland Browns, you got a character that is just absolutely stealing the show in terms of Jameis Winston and him being the starting quarterback of the Cleveland Browns. I mean, this dude is hilarious. This guy is motivating. This guy is somebody that you want to actually play your best for. I mean, he is such a character, but like probably one of the most likable characters or players in the NFL for sure. Like, the dude is just such a good guy. He cares about everything. He cares about everyone. He puts a lot of, pressure on himself. He puts a lot of, he puts a lot of expectations for himself. He tries to do the best that he can. In the show, he's had some success and he's had some failures. Because the Browns have been losing and they don't have have not been having a good season. I believe right now that they're 3-9. Maybe even worse. I can't remember, but they are not looking too good when it comes to, the playoff picture. So you obviously, it's not going to be sunshine and rainbows when they're covering Cleveland as if you were to, go to Baltimore, where they are winning. And I'll be honest, Baltimore, because they had a bye this week, they haven't really been focused on too much in the Hard Knocks episodes so far. So there hasn't really been a whole lot of notable moments or anything that's sticking out to me in the first 2 episodes of Hard Knocks in season that I could point to the Ravens team. I mean, yeah, there hasn't been really much of anything. They played like 1 game on the show which they lost. And, besides that, there hasn't really been much coverage of the Ravens. And it totally flips, you know, when you head over to Pittsburgh and then you pick up with the Steelers, where, I have to say this. I have to make this public. I have to. But Mike Tomlin is him. Like, he is him. Mike Tomlin has been coaching in the NFL for 17 years. And I always knew that he was a good coach because he's never had a negative record season. He's only been either positive or even when it comes to wins and losses. And this year in particular, when they started the season with Justin Fields, and then it seemed like they were going to stick with him. And then Russell Wilson gets healthy, and he becomes a starter. And Russell Wilson has rejuvenated himself and come alive in this season under Mike Tomlin, where I believe they're 9-3. I believe at the moment right now. And Russell Wilson is playing out of his mind. He's been reborn. And I said this before I saw Hard Knocks, but how he has his team playing, he is him. And then when you actually watch Hard Knocks and you see how Mike Tomlin can captivate his entire team and give talks and motivate the guys in an entire team meeting, and then is able to go one-on-one with players and just motivate the fuck out of them and tell them that they have purpose and that they matter and that they're getting better. And I swear to God, man, he's got to be coach of the year. He probably should have won many coaches of the years, but this year in particular, man, he is the best coach. And because he's being highlighted in Hard Knocks, you can see it behind the scenes and how much he cares about each and every single one of his players and their success. It's infectious, man. It really, really is infectious. Like, I wanted to freaking go to war for this guy. I ain't even kidding. I ain't even joking around. I for real, like, this dude is the man. He really is. And I got to be honest. Every coach in the NFL is a good coach. They have to be, because there's only 32 of these positions in the world. NFL head coaches. You have to be good to get one of these jobs, right? He is by far the best coach in this division. He is by far better than Kevin Stefanski, Zach Taylor, even John Harbaugh. Like, he is well above all those dudes. Like, it is insane because they ain't hiding shit. They're showing behind the scenes of every team, and this dude is just commanding from start to finish. Like, this guy is him. He is him. There's no way to go around it. He's just the best. Like, he coaches with with a cunningness, with like a hunting mentality. Like, he's going to find the win. While these other coaches, you see that some of them kind of coach a little scared. Like Stefanski, to me, because his team isn't very good, he's kind of like coaching like he's kind of a little scared, worried, He panics a little bit. You can see it. Mike Tomlin, no. That dude is just steel-eyed, confident, and is going to take it on, take whatever challenge on hand, right in front of him. It's crazy. It is insane, like how much that guy, who I think should 100% win Coach of the Year, and is by far like the best coach in like this entire division, 100%. 100%. Like, he just blows them all out of the water. is insane of how good this guy is. Um, but yeah, so far, Hard Knocks in season, honestly, pretty fantastic. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I was excited as soon as they announced this, and so far, it has delivered on every aspect that it has given me. It really has, especially when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. I can't get enough of this dude, Mike Tomlin, man. I cannot get enough of Mike Tomlin. The one thing I will say that was it is a little at the moment, what's the word? Underwhelming? No, not underwhelming. A little disappointed in is there hasn't been a whole lot of coverage on George Pickens, which I hear is a wild card. Like he's a wild dude. Like he's kind of insane, which I've heard, right? Now I haven't seen this in Hard Knocks. I haven't seen how crazy or how wild this dude can get. Not yet. Well, he's also been kind of injured the past week or so. So it hasn't really popped off yet. But I'm hoping that when he is not injured, that they just make it the George Pickens episode. And then I can see truly how crazy this dude can be. But I love it so far. I truly love, at the moment, Hard Knocks in season with the AFC North. It truly is really good. Like, I am so happy that they decided to follow an entire division. They might do that in the past, or in the future, actually. But I feel like also like they got to pick the right one that's going to be possibly catching fire. And at the moment, it's like, the right one for them to pick was the AFC North for sure. All right, a little bit of gaming news. I saw that Fortnite has announced that they're going to have a first-person a multiplayer shooter called Ballistic. I mean, the fact that this company is so unoriginal that they think that they're winning, that they're doing something that's cool and, different for them. I mean, really, nobody cares. I mean, I could not care less about Ballistic whatsoever. I really could not give a damn about this at all. Now, I haven't seen any gameplay. I haven't seen any trailer, but I do know what it is, and it is something that I just don't want to play at all, and I really wish did not exist. I mean, really, did the Fortnite creators really just stoop down to Call of Duty to try to make a Call of Duty type shooter where one already exists? I mean, I'm just going to look it up. I'm going to play the trailer right now because there is one. I think is there a trailer? Yeah, there is. I want to see what it looks like, and I mean, I'm just watching. It's not even a trailer. It's just like gameplay. I mean, who gives a fuck? There's nothing to this. Like, no, who cares? The fact that this even exists is just a shame. It's literally like there's nothing to it. It's just 5v5 first person shooter. Like, who cares? Why do people care about this at all? I mean, I certainly don't. Maybe because Fortnite is in such a bad state right now that, they had to bring back their old map. Now they made a first person mode. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just really don't have any ideas. And this is like their last ditch attempt for their, game to be relevant going into 2025 is to make a first person shooter. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll try it out. Maybe I'll check it out. I don't know if it's any good or not, but I don't know. We'll see. I just saw this and I was just like, what in the hell are they doing now? How could they possibly think that this is a good idea? You know, maybe honestly, maybe the battle royale is dying. Maybe it is dying. This might be like the first um sense of where you can tell that the battle royale mode is actually dying, and that in now they're trying to make other things to keep their game alive and people to play it because they know that the battle royale is dying. I mean, that's all I can think of. I mean, what, like last year? No, I think it was this year, like early this year. They made what was it? Lego Fortnite. That was like a big thing for like a month, and then no one gives a fuck about it now. So maybe they're trying to just get eyes on their game so people can play it by creating unoriginal ideas and things that have been done before, so people won't forget about Fortnite. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Battle Royale is truly dead. Because if you think about it, gaming streamers don't even play games anymore. They just fucking do dumb shit now. Everybody's trying to just do like in real life streams where they just do shit or chat about stuff or, you know, whatever. They don't even game anymore. You know, they just don't game. Like Tim the Tatman just barely games. He'll play like a game or two a week, and then the rest just like, I don't know, fuck off and do nothing, you know? I don't know. Maybe it is the fact that the genre of Battle Royale is dying. You know, Warzone is dead. Fortnite is dead. Apex is dead. They're all kind of dead if you think about it. PUBG dead. I mean, you could say that the Battle Royale, you know, trend, it lasted like maybe, a decade? Close to a decade? Is finally coming to an end? I think it might be. I think it kind of is coming to an end if you think about it, which is a good thing. You know, now they got to get creative again. Now they got to try to make new ideas. Now they can't just rely on AI-generated maps and AI-generated character models and all that crap and just, you know, going in 1 versus 99 and trying to be the last one to survive, you know? I don't know. Maybe that's just what I think. Maybe it truly is dead, you know? Because if you think about it, the 10-year-old kids that fell in love with Fortnite, you know, 10 years ago are now 20 years old. And they're probably just sick of it now. And they're just like, ugh, this is shit. I hate this. That's just kind of what I think. I could be totally wrong. But maybe the Battle Royale is truly on its way out. Certainly a possibility. Moving on to some other gaming news, though. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, has been released on Game Pass and on Xbox platforms and PC. And I have played it. And I am happily to report, that I really, 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 really enjoy this game. Now, I say that because I have played about 2.5 hours of the game, and that is all. That's all I've been able to play. But in that 2.5 hours, I was thoroughly impressed with pretty much everything that the game has to offer. First off, number one thing that I love so much about this game is the immersion. The immersion in this game, in the environments that I've been in, has been top-notch. Absolutely top-notch. I mean, like, the detail of it being back in the 1930s, with everything that's in the game, it just immerses you as soon as you start the game. And it's so the game itself is so it's so an Indiana Jones game. It just is, like, from the menus to the dialogue to the even the title screens and like the location subtext and all that. It's so Indiana Jones. It's just beautiful, and I love it so much. Another thing that's great so far is the things that you find, like artifacts and notes and like tiny little things that you find here and there in the locations that you go to is just super fun to collect. I really enjoy the gameplay. The UI is not the UI, but the way you navigate places. Your inventory is good. It's not like super detailed like other like exploring open world games, but it's simple enough, and you're like, this is all I really need. Like this is it. Like, I don't need a super in depth like inventory. I don't need like a super in depth menu system to navigate through to where I need to go. I think that the map design for the game, like how you navigate, is awesome. Um, the the skills that you can acquire, the way that they implemented that, I think was really cool. Um, and I think that the movement is great. It's fluid. You have a choice to either do stealthy or loud type of approach to you know um the missions that you're in. Um, and like overall, the whole vibe of it just feels so right. Like, this is an Indiana Jones game that I've always wanted, even though I didn't even know I wanted. Like, it's just fantastic. And I have to say, Troy Baker, who is voicing Indiana Jones, so far has done a phenomenal job as voicing Indy and doing a Harrison Ford like impression that is not 100%, but Jesus Christ, it's very, very close. There are times where, like, Indy will, like, grunt or, like, be hit or, like, and make, like, an oof sound, and, like, you're like, this sounds just like Harrison Ford. Like, holy shit, this is spot on. So I have to just I honestly have to give a round of applause to this game so far, because the amount of detail too that went into this game, that went into this game in terms of immersion, world building, story, narrative, characters, character design, character models, all that stuff, exploration, location, gameplay mechanics, how you use, like, weapons, your whip, meleeing, fighting and all that shit. It's just awesome so far. Like, I think that this game is incredible. And it's a shame that it's going to PlayStation next spring, man. Like, this game was so good that it should have been just an Xbox game. It really should have been. God damn it. Like, it's almost too good to be true that this game is this good, that I want it only for Xbox. I don't want PlayStation to have this game because I'm greedy. I feel like this game is such a win for Xbox. The fact that it's going to PlayStation is kind of a loss for the Xbox platform. In my honest opinion, I think it's just a loss. I know that they're going to get money and all that, but in terms of, like, game catalog and exclusivity, like, it's just a loss for me. And I wish it was just Xbox, man. Damn, like I love how PlayStation has God of War. I love how PlayStation has Spider-Man. Xbox should have just kept Indiana Jones. Like, that should have been theirs, man. That should have been theirs. To compete. I want the competition back. I want the console war back. I want them to actually try, because when you have a console war, that means you're going to have better games. Because if you have exclusivity with your games are going to be better. They're going to have more effort put into them. They're going to have more time put into them, so people will buy that console to play that game. I want that. This game, honestly, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, I would have paid for this game because I can feel the effort that was put into it and how much I'm enjoying it. I'm like, damn, I would have bought this for sure. Like, this game is so good, I would have bought it. And I would have. But, I see what they're trying to do. Cash in, strike while the iron's hot, put it on everything, put it on PlayStation, put it on Switch for all I care. Get the most out of your money. I understand. I get it. But ultimately, I do think, honestly, wholeheartedly, at the end of the day, the console wars is what made games great. It's what made game developers try harder. It's what made game developers, put more effort into. It's what made game developers really think and be creative on their games. And honestly, I'm very, 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 very 100%, 100%, 110%, 1,000%, 1,001%, a million, billion, trillion percent anti-war. However, I am pro console war. I am. Because that's when games were better. That is when games were better. It is just a fact. All right, that's going to be it for me today, people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember, you can find this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. New episodes drop every Thursday morning. Make sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, and do all that good stuff. And yes, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys next week.